Salve and welcome to, I haven't really given this name yet, but welcome to Hack and Slash. We're here in the studio. This is Kev.
Hello.
So we're here visiting Kev today at his awesome studio to not only look at some awesome weapons, but also interview the guy that kind of showed me how to LARP, really.
Unfortunate you.
It's a really long time ago. But yeah, no, you when I first went to LARP, you were one of the people that I'd met, and it was kind of like I got introduced to you being a veteran of CP.
I've been there for quite a while, yeah.
Yeah, with the Amigos, Amigos,
and the Knights Mortis.
I don't know about that one.
You don't know about the Knights Mortis?
No, don't know about that. All I knew was the Amigos. But then it's kind of just like, here's these people, they're going to show you how to LARP. And I was like, okay, like bright-eyed 21-year-old version of me. Like, yeah, I can do this. And then just getting beaten up every day. But anyway, so let's start with the interview. So how did you find LARP in the beginning?
Okay, right. Well, I didn't actually start LARPing, first of all. It all started when I went to a Golden Demon Award, which is everyone will know it's where you go and paint miniatures, and it's like a big national competition for Games Workshop. And I wanted to basically be seen by White Dwarf and get into their magazine. And I was like, and this is before the days of like people knowing about cosplay and things like that. So I thought, well, how can I stand out from everyone else? So it was me and a couple of others. So I decided, I don't know, what I'll do is I'll build some weapons that we can carry about that's basically from the 40k universe. So myself and the others, we built a Black Orc axe, an Elder Avatar sword, and a chain sword, and they were made from like really basic things, nothing to do with latex or anything like that. They had basically a bit of metal in the middle as a core, and they were made from polystyrene. And they were given a PVA shell, so they were really delicate.
Wow,
but they look really cool, though.
To get hit with one of those does not sound
No, there would be an almighty crunch as well. We may or may not have found that out. Anyway, so we went along.
Yeah.
And this, yet again, there was hardly any cosplay type stuff out then. I think this was 94, 95.
Wow.
Something like that. Anyway, so we went out and about, and there was loads of interest in these weapons. And at the time I was going to college as well, so I had the resources from college that I could call upon, and knowledge and stuff like that. I've got loads and loads of interest, and one of the interests, which was really cool, was Andy Chambers, who is the original Orc guy for Games Workshop. He got hold of the Black Orc axe, and he was like, "Rah!" And he just didn't want to let go of it. Yeah. And he was like, he was swinging this thing around, and that for me was a real epic moment, because it was like, someone who was like quite famous, like really famous in the Games Workshop world, and got hold of something that I'd made and didn't want to let go. So that was fantastic. And whilst I was there, someone said to me, it was just like Sprogs walking around. Someone said, "Oh, is that a latex weapon?" And I was like, "No, that isn't a latex weapon. What's a latex weapon?" And they were like, "Well, it's made of latex. It's like what you've got there, but you can actually hit people with these things." I was like, "Hitting people? Well, that sounds fun."
Yeah.
Anyway, so I really didn't know where to begin. So I started trying to research it, but obviously weapons hadn't been around for that long, because they only came out, late 80s. So a lot of it was guesswork.
Yeah.
So I found the basics of how you would put them together, and I did experimentation. And my first weapon was much like what most people want. So I made this 2 metre long sword that was only just fit through a doorway, and I was like, oh yes, I will kill everything with this sword. And because the description was latex weapon, I didn't even think that I had to glue it together properly. So I pretty much welded this thing together with a hairdryer, just out of latex and the foam that gets used with a I think it was a carbon fibre core, because that was cool, and yeah, I mean the thing survived, but it was like almost an almost solid lump of latex, and I just thought, well, I've got to do better than this, and I had a natural interest in modelling and making things and stuff like that. So I tried to find out what I could from there still. Obviously, I saw all the boffer stuff, because the boffer stuff was like still going hard in places, going strong in places. I
hate the look of buffer weapons.
Yeah,
I know that might sound really snobby in some circles, but I've never liked them, and I will never use them.
At the same time, some of the boffer stuff that's coming from America at the moment, you can look at it and go, actually, that doesn't look too bad.
Okay.
I know some people in America who use boffers.
Yeah.
There's a chap called Andy, and I've not actually met you, Andy, but I do follow you a bit, and I know you do LARP in America, and I think it's great. He uses...
it doesn't mean he's a follower of this channel.
No, but he will. He'll watch this and he'll go, yeah, he knows that I'm talking to him.
Okay.
So anyway, I've totally forgotten where I'm at now.
So it was, you were finding
stuff.
Oh,
the boffer stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so this boffer stuff looks great. I was finding stuff. I researched some more, and then, the power of the internet helped me find out more information, which actually the internet hadn't been... It was still dial-up, yes. And that was... Yeah, those were special days. Anyway, so I started gathering more information, and... at some point or other, I managed to have a small space which was dedicated to actually making weapons, or at least trying.
Yeah.
And I made a batch of about 10 weapons.
Okay.
And this was using all the new techniques that I'd learned with the impact glue and this, that, and the other. But I didn't know about tip guards at that stage.
Okay.
And it's also the point that I found out that there is one way that you can break the law with weapons, and that's by disturbing the peace. So I got a whole bunch of people together.
Yeah.
And at that time I had a maisonette, so we were all above shops, and we all went out on the rooftops, and I got everyone to fight each other to try them out. The weapons got ruined pretty quick because of the tip guards, and me not knowing about tip guards at the time.
Okay.
And then all the police turned up and said, "What are you doing?" So I had to explain, we're playing games, these are in effect toys, etc. And so the police had a good look at it, and I had first-hand experience of basically the word is, these weapons are fine, they are counted as toys, but you can disturb the peace. I did break the law, however they were going to let me off that one time, and I wasn't to do it again. So from that point on, I was really good. Whenever I went anywhere, I put it in a black bag,
So for people who don't know, what are tip guards? Tip
guards are basically there to protect the tip from coming out.
Okay.
If you imagine a core, imagine a stiletto, yeah? So if you're wearing a stiletto, for instance, said person, I know you wear them a lot of the weekends, but
it's true.
Said people, if they was to have a stiletto and they were to stand on someone, the combined pressure through that one point would do a lot of damage, because there's the weight all focuses on one point.
Yeah. And
that's one of the reasons why you don't stab in LARP.
Yeah.
Because then you get all that combined pressure.
Yeah.
But also, the very end of the tip, that's where the largest striking forces. Yeah,
Okay.
so the most damage would occur to the tip because you know it's the end of the weapon, it's the full force and the full swing.
Yeah.
You know, it's the fastest point. So we put on tip guards to try and stop the core from coming through if someone were to accidentally stab, and also so that the end of the sword
Yeah.
or whatever wouldn't get
Wouldn't hurt
damaged,
someone, yeah.
and it wouldn't protrude and cause someone an injury.
Okay.
So that's what a tip guard is, and lots of people do tip guards in lots of different ways. Here at Hack and Slash, what we do is we do something called podding, which is to add podding. Yes, and that's where an additional bit of foam is put on the end of the core, and then it's secured in place with material.
Okay.
And then it's put inside the bat. We blanks that we call them cricket bats here for swords, and baseball bats for anything else. So you put that in, and then you've got material either side.
Yeah.
And what we do is we actually run material all the way from just past the tip all the way down the blade, so that it's really, really secure.
Cool.
And I think that's I believe one of the top ways of doing tip guards or guards for the support for the weapons.
So when did Hack and Slash then? When did that become more of a job than just enjoying on the your time on the field and making weapons for friends? When did it become actually something that you were going, right, I can do something here?
Hack and Slash used to be a fan site.
Okay.
It used to be about tutorials. It used to be an opportunity for LARPers to talk through a forum.
Yeah.
And it was about stories. People could post stories.
Yeah.
It was really great. You had lots of different groups that all came together and just had a look on there. So that was really cool. Beyond that, it used to be a place where we used to put pictures of the different projects that we were doing.
Yeah.
I say we as me and anyone else that I am working with.
Yeah.
I try to include. So
Yeah.
everyone was doing different things.
Yeah.
I wasn't the only person building stuff. But when it really took off was I was basically I've been making things for a while, but then I had quite a catastrophic thing happen to me.
Okay.
Which was I had I'm sorry if everyone's already heard this story before, but I had viral meningitis.
Okay.
And viral meningitis, it had me in hospital for 2 weeks, and it did quite substantial damage to my brain and nervous system. And that has had an impact on my brain where I'm not able to connect words every so often, and I can become quite forgetful. And also I had problems with walking. Originally I had to walk with 2 sticks and then down to 1 stick, and now I've got nerve damage in my leg, but
It just bops around now.
yeah. I look quite cool at the same time.
You don't.
So after that, I couldn't work after that, even though I tried.
Yeah.
And so by coming in here, I don't have to do a lot of movement. I generally stay in the right place.
Yeah.
In one place, sorry. And I don't really have to think too much about what I'm doing because I'm just letting my creativity flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of just wallowing in self-pity, I decided that I'd do something with myself and just keep pushing it. So I started making and selling, and I just got busier and busier and busier, and I've been getting better. And I think that I'm in a good place now. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I provide to Gems Trading as well.
Yep.
Who are awesome.
Nope. So don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay. I provide to Gems Trading as well, and they're awesome, and they're great to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
to,
there's
great
a lot,
communication.
yeah,
and-
lot of good stuff coming from Gems.
Yeah.
They trade at Empire, and what I have seen your stuff at Empire as well.
which is awesome.
If you go
I've
to
never
Gems,
been, but
yes.
it's awesome.
If you go to Gems, there is Hack and Slash, and weirdly enough, because of how long we've been friends, and like loads of people take the mickey out of me for this, but the thing is, I can tell your weapons a mile away because
Yeah.
I know your style so much. Because you've been the only person who I have bought weapons off. I can literally walk into a store and go, that's a hack.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
yeah, that's that one.
You definitely got to buy weapons from other people though,
Oh,
because you know, because then you know how good mine are.
Hey.
I'm joking. Do you know what? All traders, they're very good at what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that it's like, you know, when you get into a sport, a hobby, or something like that, you always find your people. Like you find your trader that does a lot of stuff. Like I know people who will, you know, only go with one company, and that's cool. Like I love everyone's weapons. Like I'm seeing a lot of weapons coming out these days that are just phenomenal. Or if you go to some of the prop stuff, like who's that one that was?
Jaunty and Rakesh.
Yes, that's it. I can never remember the name of that one. What's that one again?
Jaunty and Rakesh.
That's it. Sorry guys, I know you watch, but I just forgot what the store was called.
Cordless props for throwing.
Oh,
Very good. And they gave me a mushroom for my daughter, which she loved.
No, but it's like, you know, their stuff. I absolutely adore their stuff. I think it's brilliant. It's completely different to any of the other stuff that's out there. But some people don't like them. Some people love them.
Yeah.
You know, you find your people.
Yeah.
And you use
like
that
Kev
stuff.
as well for UK Nerf War. He's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen Better Kev in ages. I must do an interview with Better Kev. That's right.
Do you know what? He'd probably love it. He's got really serious about his stuff recently, and I know that he's at a big convention for Nerf stuff this weekend, and he's really gone full out. He sent me pictures of his setup, and it's like, wow, Kev's actually tried doing something. It's awesome. Yeah. Also, you know, Chris from Vengeance FX.
Yes.
He's pretty awesome too.
He does.
You know, and Corinne. Sorry. So just so I can
don't
get
forget
that.
everyone.
Yeah. I know. They make amazing stuff. I've got to say.
Well, it was very long time. It's Vengeance. It was UK Nerf.
Yeah.
And it was Hack and Slash. The
Blaster Smiths.
Blaster Smiths as well. A very good a set of people to get stuff from.
Yeah.
And just great
A good
people.
bunch.
You know, I worked with them. They were lovely. Yeah. Anyone ever want to get a weapon, you go there.
So if you all want to pay us after you've seen the video, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you know, don't worry, guys. Okay, so we're going to take a break, but while we're having that break, we're going to show you what, Kev?
I don't know why.
Well, all right, you just completely killed the mood on that one. We're going to show you the spray the spray
Oh
room.
yeah.
That's right.
The spray booth. Yeah, it's pretty much the dank and nasty dungeon that I have to go to spray in, but it's got circulated heat, which is really good, and yeah, I think you'll like the items that are in there at the moment.
Okay, let's take a trip.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty dark and horrible in there. Although the kit's in there is pretty cool. I like that.
Cheers.
Right, so we're back. So, next question. It's fine. I've got a little monitor over here now that tells me what the questions are. It's pretty funky.
My phone.
Don't tell him that. So, you've made hundreds of weapons. You know, you've... Thousands of weapons. You've made my personal favourite weapon of all time. What was my baseball bat? My first ever LARP weapon was a baseball bat. I'd got the idea from the wrestler Sting, because he always came in with a black baseball bat, and I thought, oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah. But what's yours? What's the favourite weapon you've ever made? Design wise, you know, you've put labour of love. Like what's been your favourite?
That's really difficult because I've made so many, and I get excited pretty much about most of the things I build.
Okay.
quite often when I'm in here and I'm building something I like, I'll pick it up and go, oh yes, and just swing it about a bit. But personal favourites.
I mean, I remember you getting pretty excited over the claws. Do you remember the first set of claws that you ever made? The ones with the special, like, silver thing. And
Yes.
Oh, that was the...
I knew it was going that way.
The silver Right Said Fred.
Yes, I made a costume of a character that looked like Right Said Fred.
Spray painted silver.
Yeah, I was spray painted silver pretty much. I created him because I made the first claws. Well, they weren't the first claws, but
they were the first claws I'd ever seen.
Okay, well, yeah, I cracked claws, and I was like, I must have these massive box claws. Roar! So, but I wanted to play this Vareed type character as an NPC.
Yeah.
Who was a tradie type character, and it was only when I went out and about that I realised how ridiculous I looked. And so I think there's only one photo of him in existence, and I think you snapped it for your Facebook or something like that. And I'm like, I try not to talk about it. I mean, people enjoyed that character. That was great, but for the pure and simple reason that he did look like Right Said Fred, I haven't ever bought him back.
Oh, I love that.
In fact, I don't even know where the kit is anymore.
So you made the claws. You'd
yeah. I used two-tone vinyl as well, so the claws from different angles, like sort of changed colour in like different places and stuff. Very, very cool. But the claws were the only cool thing about it. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it's true.
So I enjoyed. Yeah, okay. The claws, they were quite exciting until you completely killed it for me.
Sorry.
I think a weapon one of the weapons I really like was something called Deathbane, and I built it for a friend of mine called Brady, and he was in the Knights Mortis, and he has loved this sword. Basically to the end of times. It's still going.
Yeah.
Like I think a decade on it plus, and he absolutely loves it. And with that, I just started doing some rust effects. So we've got rust effects in there. It was a really nice weapon. So there's that. The Great Unnamed One's axe, that was pretty cool.
That was good
because it was pretty iconic.
Yeah, that got nominated. The kit, the whole ensemble. You were nominated for a LARP award for that one.
Yes, it did. Yes,
which
I've got to thank everyone for.
Yeah. Did you win that one? I can't remember.
No, I didn't. No, I've never won an award.
Yeah.
And I don't really expect it either, and I don't really expect to be like nominated. But it's really nice that I did. So
yeah. I mean, that was the year that I was nominated as well, if you remember.
No, I can't. Sorry, mate.
Anyway,
what for?
Best crew member. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thanks,
anyway,
mate. Go on, carry on. Favourite weapon.
So yeah, favourite weapon.
Yep.
So there was Deathbane.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And the Great Unnamed One axe.
Yep.
Oh crikey. I really don't know. I produced hundreds and hundreds. So
do you know what because it's quite difficult for you, I think, like, as someone who has seen a lot of your work, I would say
what's your favourite weapon?
Of yours that I didn't own? I'm always going to be biased and say my own. I would say they were massively impractical, but do you remember that dual wielding set you made for Mr. Lafan? And they had the fluorescent colours on the side.
Yeah, they were really cool.
They were really, really nice.
They practically had the majority of special effects that you could put on a weapon, didn't they? It had glow effects, it had runes, it had spikes, it had a mace head on one end, it had a blade on on the other.
Had fur on the grips.
Did it?
I'm pretty sure it had fur.
I don't think it did actually.
Did it not?
No,
Okay.
no. I remember most of the furry bits. I do.
Boom. Terrible. Yeah. So I think like there has
weapons.
definitely there's been a change within your weapons, like changing over years. And I
Oh
guess,
yeah, absolutely.
I guess that kind of brings me on to kind of like the next point of what's next for hack and slash, because I as someone who has seen it go from what it was, as in it was really kind of not overly colourful, but it was very it was, there was a certain set design to, then you went into that phase of where a lot of things was very post-apocalyptic, like with the barbed wire and things like that was really cool. I loved. But what's next? Where's the company headed to on the next one? If you can tell me that.
Yes, I can. Hack and slash is growing.
Okay.
Like it's growing in quality, it's growing in size, it's growing in quantity, and also I've got an apprentice now. His name's Charlie Rivers, and most people will probably know him because he doesn't stop talking. But he's really awesome, and we actually work really, really well together. I've never met anyone that I can actually like creatively work properly with.
Okay.
And we just bounce off each other. So his involvement is basically awesome. I love my time with him.
Yeah.
And he produces great stuff. I think the company has started making a lot more leather goods. And I actually, it was about Christmas time, I took on my first ever leather commission.
Okay.
Which was great. Embossing leather and making lots of leather items. I've discovered, I thought that leather stuff would actually annoy me, but it doesn't.
Okay.
I actually really, really enjoy leather stuff.
Yeah.
And later on I'll show you some of those leather items so you can see for yourself. But yeah, so we've tried to include a lot of the colours in the leather items as well.
Yeah.
And to make them a little bit far out. So you've got drop scabbards which have got like hazard markings on.
Okay.
And things. I've learnt how to apply like staining and paintwork to leather, and for it to still take to the leather and stay on the leather.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still learning. I mean, we're always learning.
Yeah.
We're always trying new things, and actually, I relish it when we do fail at things, because then we've learned something else.
There you
go. Charlie has done a university course in modelling and special effects, and he's even learning stuff here. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we absolutely bounce off each other, and we will be at different events throughout the year. So we're going to all of the GCs. We're going to hopefully Renewal. We haven't spoken to him yet, but we're hoping to be at the Labyrinth Kit Fair as well. And we'll see wherever else we can go to as well.
Yeah. Well, that's all the questions I've got. Would you like to plug the website?
Yes, it's www.hackandslash.co.uk. And there's all sorts on there. There's it's not just weapons for sale. You'll be able to find loads of articles about how we make stuff. You'll see loads of downloads there, as well as sort of like details on how to design weapons best for commissions. There's a bit in there called the Unmade Armoury, which is like basically a load of designs, but you can buy the designs for us to make.
Yeah.
So we kind of skip out the designing part of the commission thing, and you can just go, oh, that looks good, and press a button. So there's all that. Yeah, check it out.
Cool. All right. Well, that's been it for I really should have given this a title, but this is it for
A hack and slash interview.
a hack and slash interview.
There we go.
We should have called it a hack and slash interview. God damn it!
I thought it was obvious. Yeah, we've known each other for ages. You know, I love you lots. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. So, Sammy,
Yes.
tell me, what is the colour yellow?
It's a state of mind. It's a theatrical coup de grace of life, love, and the universe.
When did you first experience it?
When I was a wee boy of 8.5.
How many fridge magnets have you collected in your life?
Approximately to this point, 37.
How come you can remember that?
Because I have the brain size of a tangerine, and it holds much information.
How does that connect with the colour yellow?
Because you have tangerine, yellow, almost the same.
Except they're not, are they?
In my world, they are.
Fantastic.
Splendid.
Is there anything you'd like to say to your viewers?
Thank you, and appreciate everything you do.